If you have yellow or purple nutsedge, I have got a product for you that is pretty doggone easy to mix. Even if you've really not mixed anything or put out a herbicide before, it's actually pretty easy to put out. It is called SedgeHammer, and it comes in these very convenient small little packets. Now there's actually two formulations to it. There's SedgeHammer and then there's SedgeHammer Plus. This is actually SedgeHammer Plus we're talking about today. Now what's the difference between the two? SedgeHammer Plus actually has the non-ionic surfactant already in it. Now non-ionic surfactants, basically, just to give you guys an idea what's going on there, what they do is they facilitate they break down the adhesive and cohesive forces of the water and actually helps distribute it on the leaf blade a little bit, and it's absorbed by the weed a little bit more efficiently. This is already in there, you don't have to worry about it. So that's the great thing about it. Now, the other convenient thing about it is when you're mixing it, this does 1 gallon. That's how you mix it. It's not a rate per se to where you are, you have to worry about, spray volumes or anything of that nature, as I've said in my other videos. What you can do, and be careful here, okay? What you can do is you can take a gallon container, milk jug, this distilled water container, or something like that. You can take a packet, and this is where you need to be careful. Put that in there, shake it up real good, and you've got yourself a really good product to put out for nutsedge. Now, remember I said to be careful. Here's what I need you to do. Whenever you do that, if you do it on a milk jug or something like that, I want you to take this water, obviously take the label off. Then I want you to take a permanent marker and I want you to write on there SedgeHammer. And then I want you to take the instructions, the label, and I want you to stick it on there too. So that, and you put it in your garage and you keep it somewhere where it's very appropriately labeled. Now, once when you've done that, you can take out a spray bottle, take this, put it in a spray bottle. Now, this is going to be done. I'm going to do a spot treatment video, and anybody who's seen any of my other videos knows I got a bug bit there. Anyway, anybody who's seen any of my post-emergent herbicide videos know that I am not a big fan of spot treatment. I'm making an exception today, and twofold. One, the reason why I don't like spot treatments is sometimes it can disturb the grass. In other words, it can stunt the grass. I gave you, had a colleague of mine, golf course superintendent, spot sprayed in a fairway with these spray rig and actually made little checkerboard things. It didn't hurt the grass that much, but it stunted the grass a little bit, and you had these little checkerboard looking things. I think he and I could see it, but hopefully nobody else could, but it can set back the grass when you spot treat, so it can look kind of weird. Secondly, you have a tendency to really want to spray. And I'll show you a picture of that and what can happen when you do that. And I'm going to show you in this video how to spray. It generally just takes a mist, and that is about all you need to do in order to control the nutsedge. So I'm going to show you about the correct volume. Now, if you use products like this, these ready-mades, those do, like I said, you have a tendency to overuse those. Though they are correct. The active ingredients in those are fine to be put out, and if it's put out the proper rate, it's not going to hurt your grass. But what people have a tendency to do when they're spot treating with those products is they over-treat, and now they kill their grass. Now, a little bit more about SedgeHammer. It is a halosulfuron methyl, and the reason why I give you guys, sometimes I twist them around, I'll admit it. The active ingredients is I want you to be good shoppers, okay? If you familiarize yourself with active ingredients, you can actually see different products and you can know what's going on. For example, there is a product called Celsius Extra. Now, there's a Celsius that I just put out on my yard, my warm season grass, Bermuda grass yard today. That's going to be in my video next week. There's actually a product called Celsius Extra that already has the SedgeHammer in it. So if you see that, you go, oh, well, that's SedgeHammer. And like I said, it'll make you better shoppers if you really start to understand these active ingredients, okay? So there's all that. So there again, SedgeHammer has a surfactant in it. I'm going through my notes here. So a few do's and don'ts here. What you want to do whenever you put out a herbicide, post-emergent herbicide, you want to be sure that you do not mow your yard 2 days prior or 2 days after. The reason being is, particularly with a grassy weeds, you want that weed to have good leaf surface so it can absorb the herbicide. If you mow the day before or mow the day of, and then you go out and spray, your likelihood, particularly with nutsedge, is not going to be well at all. It's just not. And it's probably, candidly, it's probably why I had the success that I did. Some SedgeHammer, I believe it says on the label, it has a fairly slow knockdown. There are other products for nutsedge control that are out there that say they have a 24 to 48 hour knockdown, or at least you can see it, go. The thing is I have seen on using SedgeHammer, my experience was I put it out, 2 days later I mowed, and it's not grown back. I do have some spots that I know I missed, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit them. Well, I'm going to hit my backpack sprayer, but I'm going to use one of these. You could use one of those to go out and spray with it. So anyway, you can do that. You want to be careful when you spray during the summer. That has to be between 70 degrees, and most of them need that much in order to be sure that you're getting the proper temperature so it can actually be absorbed by the plant and actually work. It needs to be above 70 degrees and below 85 degrees. And the reason why it needs to be, if you do it above 85 degrees, particularly with cool season grasses, you're going to stress the plant, and that's not going to be a good situation you want to be in, particularly during the summer. Now, rain. There again, we don't want heat stress, we don't want drought stress, okay? What you will need to do is try to time your herbicide applications, post-emergent herbicide applications, after a good soaking rain. And sometimes that can be rather demanding during the summer, particularly with your life and mowing and everything else. Timing is an incredible thing. You don't want the plant to be stressed. I will say, SedgeHammer is pretty doggone safe for just about any grass. I'm getting more into grassy weeds and general rules of thumb because I want you to know these things. So anyway, let's say I'll give you an example. Let's say it rained on Monday and I got a good soaking rain. I generally wait until I don't go that afternoon, even though it's clear. I generally wait until the next day, so that way the grass has a opportunity to drink, if you will, and kind of recover from any drought stress that it had. And then I'll go out on Tuesday, sometime when it's not, windy or anything else, I'll go out and I'll hit it with my post-emergent herbicide. So anyway, so let's go ahead and do this. Let me show you how I mix it into the backpack sprayer. I'm going to show you how to properly do a spot treatment as far as how much volume you actually need to put out. These bottles are actually pretty convenient if you want to use it. You can, before you put the product in it, you want to go ahead, you can kind of calibrate these. I like these with the adjusted nozzle, and you want to spray some water, and you'll see what I'll spray. And it'll give you an idea of the mist that you need in order to put this out properly so where you're not over treating. And there again, this is the only product. Nutsedge is probably about the only thing that I would recommend spot treating with. So anyway, everything else I would do I do all your yard, because you're probably not going to get the controls you want, and you're going to get in a whack-a-mole situation where you're treating one spot and treating another, and the likelihood of you messing up is much higher. It's just just law of averages, and you're better off treating the whole yard, and that way it's easy to calibrate, easy to put out, and you're getting it right. So anyway, let's do some backpack. Let's fill our backpack. Usual, I am going to fill this halfway up. Now it's only half a gallon. I am going to keep my sprayer or my hose here at a fairly low amount of volume. I don't want to put a ton of agitation in here yet, but I'm going to fill it up just a little bit, probably a little less than half gallon. And then I'm going to put my SledgeHammer in. There again, this goes out at 1 gallon. I need to cut it a little bit more, because when I was doing my jar test, I didn't want to use all of it. There we go. I'm going to put that in there. Now this is going to need a modest amount of agitation, because it is and that is it. It is going to need a decent amount of agitation, because it is essentially a wettable powder is what it is. So, and I got it agitated pretty good. So that is about it. Now I'm going to go out, I'm going to spot treat where I need it, and that's going to be pretty much it. Then I'm going to follow up with my Celsius. There again, I could have mixed these two very easily, but I'm going to spot treat because I'm saving money, and I've got a little bit of I got a little area of cool season grass I don't want to treat. Okay, when I'm spot treating, I'm going to work the same way that I always do when I spray normally or put out a grain or product. And with a spreader, I'm going to just take the same path, but I'm just going to turn my backpack sprayer off and on and just treat those specific areas. So anyway, here I go. Okay, one thing I want you to note here is just how little I am putting out. It's just spot treating as I go, just a little bit of product. I'm going the exact same way I always do, and then I'm making sure I'm just not overlapping too much, just enough to get it on the leaf blade. Okay, no, this is not my yard, but this what can happen when you spot treat. If you over spray a certain area, you can lose grass, and this is what generally happens. Okay, here I have a strip right beside a walkway. It's got some nutsedge in it, hard to see, but I'm going to show you just how little. Boom, 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 boom. That's it. Okay, this was actually all the way through here. Was pretty much a good line of nutsedge. And here we are 6 days later, and I'm very pleased with the results. I keep my videos very topical. This is nutsedge season. If you subscribe and hit the bell, you will get notifications of my videos. I know that might sound a little annoying, but I keep them topical, and you will get a reminder. And like I did a fungicide video a little over a month ago, and sure enough, within 2 weeks, I start seeing on my channel, on my Facebook page, Home Lawn Care Advice, and a few other groups that I'm involved with, is people having a problem with fungus. If they would, if you got a heads up a couple weeks earlier, they wouldn't have got fungus on their yard. So if you subscribe and hit the bell, you'll get these. And at least it'll give you an idea of, hey, something you need to think about, maybe a problem that you're going to have and you already have the solution, and it gives you a great heads up and keeps things on track. And timing is so important when you're dealing with any type of agricultural product. As far as agricultural, I'm actually a 94 graduate of North Carolina State University. I'm in golf course maintenance construction for over 35 years. Been a licensed applicator in multiple states. So anyway, I've been doing this a little while. And I started my video channel about a year ago. We're over 1,600, almost 1,700 subscribers already, and we're doing very well. So anyway, that is controlling yellow and purple nutsedge. I'm going to leave two things because we are getting into grub season big time, and curative grub season. If we're getting into late June, you could probably still put your preventative out. I'm gonna leave a grub video out because that one's going to be the one that's going to eat your lunch next. Pun intended. And I'm also going to leave my pre-emergent video here at the end, one of these two. So that way you get a pretty good idea of pre-emergent, and then I like to follow up a couple weeks later with a post-emergent if I have anything coming up. And the reason why I have that delay is this. You can put out pre and post-emergent herbicides usually together. And in my next video, I'm going to show you how to mix herbicides or any type of pesticide product and how to do that in a jar test. That's going to be in my next video when I put out my Celsius. So what you can do is, I like to put out pre-emergent first and then come back, kind of seal things up, and then come back like a week later and put out my post-emergent if I have any active weeds at the time. Because what happens is, if you put out your pre-emergent, you seal things up, nothing else emerges, and if something is immature at the time that you put out your pre-emergent, now generally if it's a very immature weed, yes, it will actually control it better, but I really want those leaves to be out so it can really absorb that post-emergent herbicide. On golf courses, I used to mix them because, heck, you're talking 75 acres, sometimes 60, 75 acres, and we'll mix the two and we'll just live with whatever's there. And it does a pretty good job. I just prefer on smaller areas to put out my pre-emergent than my post-emergent. And it seems like it cleans things up pretty doggone well. So anyway, I enjoyed talking to you, and the comments. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I will leave SledgeHammer Plus down, $14, probably take care of all your ails as far as nutsedge and purple and yellow nutsedge for the whole year. They're again safe product, really great. So anyway, I'm agronomist Greg Phillips. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, you'll get these notifications, and check out the rest of the channel. It'll help you out with a lot of things with home lawn care. So anyway, thanks for watching.